All right, good morning, everybody. How you doing? Welcome to the PreStream podcast, episode 7, I believe. If I'm wrong, please correct me and embarrass me publicly here on the internet for being incorrect and being a human who makes mistakes. I am Darkside Phil, and I welcome you here to the show. Today is Monday, December 6, 2021. Okay, today will be a very good streaming day, and allow me to tell you why. Because today, every single person watching my streams will receive $1 million digitally deposited into the account of your choice. That's pretty amazing, isn't it? Wow. I mean, just look, right now we have about 160 people. You guys, finally making it happen. Yeah, okay. The funny part is, what? Really? Wow, Phil turned into Oprah. No. I'm sorry. Go pester Oprah. I'm kidding. No, ladies and gentlemen, today's going to be a good streaming day. We got good stuff lined up for all of you. By the way, I only said people watching the stream. If you're watching the video on demand, no money for you. I'm very sorry. Anyway. You missed out. I'm really sorry, guys. All right, so anyway. I hope you guys are doing well. We're starting a new week today, right? New week. Got to get this week started right with something special. So we're doing that. We're doing something special today. Vice City. V-I-C-E-C-I-T-Y. Vice City, Vice City. Yes, I'm excited. I hope you guys are too. When the GTA Definitive Edition Trilogy was announced a little over a month ago, people were jumping for joy, saying, does this mean that Phil will return to Miami and sing the songs that make the whole world sing? Yes, that's what it meant. Although back then we didn't know what was going to happen with these games, if they were going to be worth playing or not, which is why I did San Andreas first on Game Pass. But after doing a very successful playthrough of San Andreas, even though it's not perfect and certainly there's some shortcomings, I decided to do Vice City, and you guys seem to be really pumped. Like the last few weeks that I was trying to finish up San Andreas, everyone's like, where's Vice City? When's Vice City starting? Are you doing Vice City right after San Andreas? And of course, not your request, per your demand, it's coming today, all right? Now, I did actually start the playthrough already, but for about an hour and a half the other day when we beat San Andreas, I jumped right into Vice City. But this is the first major stream of the game where we're dedicated to doing 3+ hours of gameplay. We're going to get a good chunk into the game. We're going to probably hear dozens of songs, 80 songs. The vibe, right? Driving around Miami, right along the beach in one of these 80s vehicles. The wind whipping through Tommy Vercetti's hair. The grease flying off of his head, the greasy hair, right? Palm trees flapping in the breeze. And 80s vibes all around. I'm very excited. I'm very excited for Vice City. And, this game's between 20 to 25 hours long. And we'll see how long it takes me to actually get through and beat it. I'm thinking probably through Christmas. Seriously, I'm thinking that because if I'm playing it alternating with other games, so if I do, let's say I do 9 hours of progress a week, right? So by the end of this coming week, we're 10 hours in. One more week, we're about 20 hours in. We still got about 2 more streams, and that's going to take us into the Christmas week, you see? So, can you stand the excitement? I hope you can. So I'm excited for that today, obviously, because I love Vice City. Vice City is my favorite of the original GTA trilogy of games back on the PS2 era. Because of the 80s vibes, me being an 80s kid, listening to that music that they play in the game all the time. Everywhere I went to a mall, went to a grocery store, on the radio, on TV. Remember, MTV was ginormous in the 1980s. That was the most prominent time for that. And I'm very excited to be reliving that all with you starting today. Okay? DC is here, and it's starting today with a GTA childhood haiku. Vice City I played in my childhood, and I enjoyed it a lot. It's incredibly disturbing, DC, that you would actually be allowed to play an adult-rated game when you were a child. Your parents certainly should be chastised for that terrible parenting. But it's glad to hear that you have enjoyed the game previously as a kid, and now you'll get nostalgic vibes as I play it today in the modern era. Very nice. So that's today's main gameplay stream, and obviously that's exciting. Like, today I really feel is going to be a cool stream of vibing. It's going to be a vibe today, right? A vibe of enjoyment, fun, hilarity. I'm sure there's going to be missions in this game that I'm going to be failing. And by the way, the game looks so different. It does. In this collection, I would say San Andreas, okay, looks very different for sure in the definitive edition than it does in the original game. But San Andreas was the last one of the trilogy and had the most modernized graphics of all the games. This game, with the new graphics, looks so different. You feel like, you're like, what the hell am I playing? It's so surreal to be playing this game you've played before with these graphics that look so different, with actually modernized lighting and everything. You know, whoa. Now, I have noticed that there are frame rate drops during the driving, and that's kind of a little bit annoying, I'll be honest. You didn't have frame rate drops in San Andreas, pretty much, for the most part. I don't know why there's these big frame rate drops when driving in this game. This could lead to problems. It could, because frame rate drops can lead to slowdown and delay in inputs, and it could be a big problem, especially during some of the tougher missions. I remember some of the tougher missions in this game coming up. If we're having drops during the driving, oh, crap. We may be in big trouble, okay? Of course, that's just going to add to the hilarity of the playthrough. It's not like, oh, God, this is some amazing high-level speed run that Phil has to beat the game right away, and oh, my God, now the playthrough's ruined. It's the opposite. It'll be silly if I'm failing because of this stuff, right? So, I'm definitely excited for Vice City today. Now, the late stream today, guys, all right? I'm going to be honest with all of you. I'm a little nervous about. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling the game, but all right. Tonight, on the late stream, it's Halo Infinite multiplayer, okay? This has been out now for a little under a month. Came out surprisingly in early November. A surprise drop for the 20th anniversary of Xbox, right? I love Halo Infinite multiplayer. I'm having a ton of fun with it. Every time I play it, I feel like I'm learning more about the weapons and stuff, and I'm doing better. I'm usually at the top of the leaderboards. I'm getting cool kill streaks. I'm winning duels, head-up duels with people. Doing well even in the objective modes, like grabbing the oddball and getting multiple kills with the oddball and stuff. I love it. Okay, I'm having a great time. And because Call of Duty, Vanguard, as well as Battlefield were incredible flops and disappointments this year, it's really cool to see Halo be good again. Really. I played the last 2 to 3 Halo games in multiplayer. I didn't really like them. I thought they were okay, but they didn't feel like Halo. This game feels like Halo, but also is getting this vibe of, wow, it's really come back to prominence. It's not just, oh, it's a nostalgia factor. It's, wow, the game actually plays pretty well, okay? So I'm having a great time with the game. And you guys keep telling me you want to see me play competitive multiplayer. I've been told over the years that it's a good thing that I'm a variety streamer, because even though it's entertaining to watch me play a game like Vice City, right? It's a single-player, narrative-based game. Will I rage and fail? Yes, but there's no potential for competition there. You see, I'm not a speedrunner. I'm not a perfectionist. I don't care about going crazy and doing a no-death run and shit like that. So there's no competition there. To see me actually participate in some kind of a competition is fun and different than the rest of my content and refreshing. People like that variety, right? Now, last year, we had Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, which was very, very fun. I really liked it. It was one of my favorite Call of Duties of many years, and I played it at length. I played it for like 6-7 months consistently as a multiplayer game in my rotation. You guys liked it. You came out, you watched and supported, right? It was good. After about 6-7 months, admittedly, you guys thought it got boring. I agreed, and I stopped playing it, right? Right around, I'd say, middle to late summer. I said, enough is enough. Let's do other stuff now. With Halo Infinite, we've barely scratched the surface. We're only playing the initial slew of content. They even said that this week, supposedly there'll be more content released for the multiplayer, and then moving forward, there's going to be better playlists, more maps, and things being added to it in the future. So, I'm very excited for this. I really am. I'm having a great time with it. The attendance when I play Halo Infinite is great. For a late night stream, I'm playing on a late night stream, typically attendance is much lower than it would be during a daytime stream. Daytime streams, we can average between 300-400 viewers, sometimes more, depending on the game. On night streams, I'm lucky to get 250. And that's okay. The late night streams are meant to be not ongoing narrative-based AAA game-style streams. They're meant to be, oh, here's a random multiplayer session. Here's a chill playthrough, right? That's what it's meant to be. It's a different kind of a feeling than the games that I play on the earlier streams on purpose. I do that for a reason. But that being said, with the attendance high, the support's been bad. I'm not even going to exaggerate. It's bad. There have been Halo streams where I play for the whole first hour, and I look and I made like $10. And I'm like, now wait a minute. It's not about the money. Never has been. I want you to understand that. I'm a content creator who loves what he does for a living. I'm incredibly blessed to be able to do what I love for a living, because how many people don't get to do that, right? They have to do jobs just to make money for their families or whatever. They do it for money. They hate what they do for a job. I've been there. I've done that. For most of my life until I became a YouTuber, that was me. I was the one busting my butt at whatever job I worked at, felt underappreciated, underpaid, and I hate that shit. I think that everyone should have the opportunity to do what they love for a living, okay? So I'm not complaining about the job, but as much as I love doing what I do for a living, it's a job. I have to make money doing it. I have to be able to pay my bills, and I have to put stuff into my gaming rotation so that it has interest, okay? It's obvious that there's interest to watch Halo, but there doesn't seem to be a lot of interest to support it. Just being honest, like, when I play Halo, and I'm kicking ass, and I get a 12 kill streak, and everyone's going crazy in the chat, wow, look at Philly kicked ass and everything. And it's like, wow, the stream's about to end, and he's raised $10. You know, it's like, pfft. Obviously, there's a disconnect there. Because typically, the philosophy that I followed as a streamer is thus. If you put out an entertaining product that I'm enjoying playing, you're enjoying watching, and everyone in general seems to be having a good time, then the support's going to go hand in hand with that, right? I don't have to harp on, oh, support is low or this or that. If people are having a good time in general, the support comes in, and therefore I don't have to go crazy talking about it, right? And that's a good thing. That's a very good thing. I don't want to have to be focusing on that kind of stuff constantly. There's streamers and content creators out there who constantly have to be plugging a product, giving an ad. I don't like doing that. I just want to play the game and have a good time and interact with you guys. That's it. I don't want to have to be sitting here being a talking plug, you know? That's why you don't see me shilling product and shit like that on my streams. I never have. So, all that being said, it seems like everyone's having a great time with Halo Infinite, but for some reason, that level of support has not been happening. Okay? Sucks. It is disappointing, because I like it. I want to keep it. I told you guys, I like it so much, I would consider keeping that in the rotation 1 or 2 times a week for the indefinite future. Just keep going, right? Until we get burnt out on it, which right now we're not. Right now, it's the early stages of the game. There's going to be new maps and new vehicles, new things added over time that's going to make it more and more interesting, okay? So, here's the deal. Tonight, the late stream at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Time is Halo Infinite multiplayer. Please, if you like it, if you're liking the fact that I'm doing a multiplayer game consistently, you want to see it continue, especially because I'm getting better and kicking butt when I play it, please come by and support the stream. If you're someone who doesn't watch the streams live, you watch the videos on demand, you can still support them. Number 1, you can like the videos on YouTube. Number 2, you can leave a comment on the videos on YouTube. And number 3, you can look at the description of the video for all different ways that you can contribute. Notably, you can become a channel member right here, or you could tip. Either of those things, even if you're an offline viewer who's not watching live, you can still use to support the channel. If you like this variety of stuff, please consider supporting it, all right? Being as transparent as I can be with you guys, I can't keep playing Halo Infinite twice a week if every time I play it, there's no support. Or I don't want to say no support, there's slow support. That's exactly how I should say it, because it's not that no one's contributing, it's that the contributions are relatively slow compared to other games. And the other thing is, right now, people want to see me play a ton of stuff. Right now, I mean, no lie, demanding right now, Phil, are you going to continue Condemned Criminal Origins, which you started on Halloween? You said you would continue it, you haven't yet. What's going on with that? Phil, are you going to play Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, which came out last month? You didn't play it at release. What's up with that? Phil, there's a ton of games that have come out on Game Pass in the last 2-3 months that you completely glossed over because you've been busy with new releases. Can you do Game Pass streams and check some of those out and play those as late night stream? That's just 3 examples of things that people want me to do that probably will garner support, you see? And I could easily do those instead of Halo. But I'm liking Halo. I would be ashamed for me to drop Halo for this reason. It would be one thing if, like, okay, I'm playing Halo, got burnout. I'm not really enjoying it anymore. You guys are saying you're bored of it. That doesn't seem to be the case. When I'm playing Halo, people are showing up and actually liking the streams. So, please, if you can, support the Halo streams. Let's see how it goes tonight. Tonight will be a very important stream to determine how it goes. All right? Fair enough. Okay. Tomorrow, guys, it is the conclusion of Metroid Dread, I guess. At least from what people are telling me. Because it's funny, I'm playing the game and I'm like, it doesn't really feel like we're at the end of the game. It seems like we just keep, every stream, I keep unlocking new abilities. We get new bosses, new mini-bosses, right? We had yesterday alone, we unlocked like 2-3 new map areas. And I'm playing through, I'm like, people are saying the game's 9 to 12 hours long. We're 9 hours in. I don't know if it feels like the end yet. Maybe I'm just wrong, or maybe the game has an abrupt ending that shocks you. I don't know. But if everything is as people are telling me, tomorrow we should finish Metroid Dread, okay? Which is kind of bittersweet, because I'm actually really liking the game. I've been playing it all week, and I'm like, man, this game's really good. You know, the graphics, the gameplay elements, it's a throwback to classic Metroid, but has some modernized elements that are nice. I'm just kind of like scratching my head, like, why is it so short? Really, I gotta like wonder what they were thinking. When you got a game like this, it's a resurgence of the series. Why is it so short? Right? Do you think maybe they would go 16 to 20 hours with it? I'm not sure. But anyway, if what people are telling me is true, we're going to beat Metroid Dread tomorrow. So far, the playthrough's been outstanding. You guys have attended in droves. You've supported it in droves. I hope you'll come by for the big finale tomorrow. My last streaming day of the week, by the way. So, big finale of Metroid Dread tomorrow. Let's see how it all ends. Okay? Tomorrow night, the late stream will be more Lost Judgment. Now, for those who weren't here yesterday, Lost Judgment, we are in the end game. I could very much sit down and beat it in 2-3 streams if I just did story. But this is a playthrough that we've now invested like 53 hours into. I've been playing it for over 2 months. I want to see the resolution of the side content that we've been doing all along, which is the school stories, where you're doing all these investigations at a high school into this criminal called the Professor. The problem is you have to do so many of them. Like there's 10 different club stories you have to keep investigating. Okay? And it's very frustrating because sometimes these stories are very interesting and they keep you hooked, and other times it just feels like a grind. Like right now in the midst of a bike club, you have to do 16 races, all of which are nearly identical, all of which are time consuming, where you have to kill all these minions to get to a boss and beat the boss in a race. It takes forever. It's such a effing grind. It's so annoying. Okay? So I want to get through it. The thing is, I know for a fact to get through all this side content, we still got Bike Club. We still got Boxing Club. There's a new one called the Girls Bar. Figured that one out. There's a Photography Club. And there's the final mission of the Dance Club. And the finale of the Robotics Club. We've got to do all that before we can get to the real final plot line of the Professor investigation. Get through the Professor investigation. And then we can beat the story of the game. I'm predicting, no exaggeration, we will be playing Lost Judgment for all of December and likely beat it at the end of the year. I'm thinking the last week of December, we'll finally beat Lost Judgment. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Seriously. It's going to take me that long to get through all this school mission side content. So, I'm okay with that. And I want to say thanks to those who have been chilling with me during those streams and keeping the conversation going. Because if it weren't for you guys chilling with me during those streams, it would be a pretty tough undertaking, pretty arduous undertaking to get through all this shit, but you guys are making it fun. Last night's stream I absolutely enjoyed very much. I hope you'll join me tomorrow night, okay? Now, I'm off from streaming on Wednesday, which means when I return on Thursday, the main stream will be the premiere of the Halo Infinite single-player campaign. It actually comes out on afternoon on Wednesday, but since I'm off on Wednesday, I'm going to do it on Thursday first thing, okay? Now, we can actually get to a story here that's interesting. The reviews for the campaign are coming out. And the reviews are as thus. You ready? It's good. Awesome. Are they completely kissing its butt and saying it's the most revolutionary campaign you've ever played? No. In fact, some of the reviews seem to be very critical of certain design choices that they made in this game. Some of them are criticizing the graphical performance. Some of them are criticizing the actual gameplay. But, in general, people seem to be saying that it's a fun experience. It's better than the campaigns of the last few Halo games that have really been shitty. Although some people are arguing, even though there's open world segments, they still don't necessarily feel, how can I say it? Necessary, right? Like, it's cool that a game has an open world segment with all these stuff to do, but what if you don't have to do it? Right? If it doesn't add to the game, if it's something that's superfluous. I've always been strongly critical of Halo campaigns. Okay, here's why. In Halo campaigns, they regularly will put you into a linear area, a big room. Now, there's multiple ways to go through the room. Maybe you go to the left, you climb a cliff, you shoot some guys, you drop down or whatever, you get to the other side. Maybe on the right-hand side, there's a valley or there's something here and there's a gauntlet of enemies you got to go through. But typically, the goal for Halo is get to the door. You can literally find any way to do it. You could skip every enemy. You don't have to fire a single weapon. You could just get to the door. Next room. You're done. You passed it. Right? And I've done this many times in Halo campaigns. I said, what are they thinking? It's a modern day. This is not like the launch of the original Xbox console where there were limitations and shit you could do. Why is it this is what they've done with the game, that you could just turbo through it and run through like an asshole like this? Just run through, ignore everyone, and get to the next part of the game. Doesn't make any sense. So, for me, I've always been critical of the Halo campaigns. Like, they should have been much better, in my opinion. Now, this game's different, supposedly. We'll see. I'm excited for it. I really am. I've enjoyed the Halo multiplayer so much that I'm feeling very positive about the campaign. I'm hoping the campaign ends up being entertaining and fun for both of us, you know, for me playing it and you watching it, and it ends up being a good experience, because I would like nothing more than to say that Halo Infinite is one of the best games of 2021 and have it in my Game of the Year awards. So far, the multiplayer is worthy of that for sure. 100%. The experience I've had with the multiplayer is Game of the Year worthy. But there's another side to the game, right, in the campaign, and we got to see how the campaign performs, all right? So let's see what happens starting on Thursday. And then what's going to happen is I'm going to alternate between the Halo Infinite campaign and Vice City all this coming week. That's the schedule for the week. Now, I don't know how long the campaign is. I didn't have an opportunity to really read up enough in reviews or anything to find out how long the campaign is. But I'm feeling it's going to at least be long enough to justify balancing it with Vice City for about a week. Okay? If it's longer than that, great, but I don't know. We'll find out. Okay? It's very interesting. Now, there's actually a news story out today. It's very odd to me. This news story, I don't understand it at all. It's on social media, and there's a bunch of people talking about this, and I feel like I want to discuss it, even though it just sounds so ludicrous to me, okay? There's actually people complaining about the fact that the Halo Infinite disc, the disc, which, by the way, you don't need it. There's no reason to have Halo Infinite on a physical disc. Halo Infinite is an all-digital game. The multiplayer came out almost a month ago digitally for free. Everyone can download it and play it right now on PC or an Xbox console. You don't even need Xbox Live. Okay? The campaign is being sold on a disc. Okay? And the complaint is, if you buy the physical disc of Halo Infinite at a store, which I don't even know why they're selling it, because you have Game Pass, it's free, but they're selling it. The few people that don't want Game Pass, or maybe they just want a physical edition, I have no idea. If you buy the disc at the store and you come home and you put the disc into your Xbox console, the campaign's not on the disc. When you put it into your console, it's a very limited version of the game and nothing will work. You have to connect to the internet and download the real game. There's actually people complaining about this, saying, I don't like the practice that when I buy a physical disc, I have to come home and download the real game. I should have it on the disc. I hate this. This is bullshit. I should be able to play the game off the disc. Okay? And I'm like, are there people who just haven't played games in like 5 years and they heard Halo was coming back, so they decided to start playing games again or something? Like, where have you been for the past 5 years? And by the way, I'm not agreeing with the practice. I'm not. I remember the days when you could go to the store, buy a game, you come home, you pop the game disc into your console, and you are playing the game. The game. Not a version of the game that's unfinished, not 1/3 of the game, and then later you load the rest of the game. You're playing the game. That's the game you get on the disc. In fact, it was interesting because back in the day, I used to play fighting games on consoles, and because there were no online patches or updates for fighting games online, you would basically have a version of the game, and that was it. So you would get, for example, Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo on the PlayStation 1 was very inferior to the arcade version, but that's what you played if you had it, and if they had tournaments running on it, you just had to accept it. There was no patching after the fact to fix bugs or issues. You just had to accept that they were in the game, and that was that. It actually changed the face of competitive Street Fighter for a while, because whatever became the tournament standard on console is what you were forced to play with, you see? Today, it's like, okay, I bought a game on a disc, I brought it home, I put it into my console. It installed a 300 megabyte file off the disc. That's a placeholder file for the game. It then initiated an online download for the real game, which is 100 gigabytes. And now I have to sit here for 5 hours because I don't have good internet and download the whole game off the internet. That's the state of modern gaming. Now, years ago, all right, many years ago, I saw this beginning. I knew this was going to happen when games started to go full digital. Right? When there really started to be less and less incentive to go to the store and physically buy the game in person. And instead, every game had this issue where you bought it, you're not playing the game. You have to download the real game to play it. When I started as a content creator 13 years ago, release day unboxing was one of my favorite things to do. I would go to the game store, pick up a bunch of games physically, sometimes the collector's editions of games that came with swag and collectibles and all kinds of stuff. I would unbox that live and show all of that stuff off for you guys, and then upload that video at the very beginning of a playthrough. It built hype for the playthrough that I was about to play and upload to YouTube. It got people excited for that game because you got into the lore and the culture of the game by looking at the stuff that came physically with the game. And then over the years, you started to notice it just dissipated more and more and more. You just started seeing it go away every year. Less in the box, less swag. The box not having anything written on it anymore. You open up the box, there's no inside of the insert of the box anymore. It's all just like epilepsy seizure warnings and stuff. And then you, oh, is this an instruction booklet? You open it up, there's nothing in it. It's blank. Sometimes there's no instruction booklet anymore. Like literally you buy the game, you open it, there's just a game disc. There's nothing else inside. So that was a series, Release Day Unboxing, that I absolutely loved and cherished doing. And just over the years, seeing the evolution of gaming culture and the way that game manufacturers started treating physical releases differently made that obsolete, and I phased it out because there was nothing to do anymore. People were like, okay, Release Day Unboxing, there's nothing in the box. This is just a disc, right? And that disc didn't even have the game on it. So why was I buying it, right? So, with that gradually happening, I kind of saw the writing on the wall. The game companies were essentially saying, we don't want to do physical copies anymore. The cost of making it, right? You have to manufacture the disc. You have to publish the game onto the disc. You have to make the box art, mass produce the insert for the box. Then you have to physically have those things combined somewhere. Then you have to have them packaged. You have to have them shipped, logistics, money, cost of ship them, store them, get them physically out to stores and everything. Now, physical stores obviously love having physical games because that's something that gets people to come into the store and buy the games, right? You know, it's a product for them to sell that's popular. But what you've seen over the years is that it's just not necessary anymore, right? When you go into Best Buy or you go into Walmart or you go into Target and you see their game section, okay, the games are there, but are you really enticed to buy the game there because you see it anymore? You could have got that game at release. I mean, look at the benefit to getting the game digitally. You can pre-order it and preload it on your console right away. It's already good to go with all the patches and everything needed to play it when it unlocks, whatever the time is that it unlocks your local time. Usually it's midnight or earlier. Oh, here it's 9 p.m. the day before because that's considered midnight East Coast time. So typically we could play it around 9 p.m. here on the West Coast. So for me, I like the digital deal. I like paying for it early, so it's already done. I get the game, it's already on my console, it's ready to go. Do I play it at 9 p.m.? No. The days of having midnight releases are very overrated, and I don't really care that much about that anymore. But I definitely see the advantage. And for the longest time, like, I remember the game that started it all, Star Fox, back on the Wii U. When I got Star Fox on the Wii U, I said, this will be the last physical game I get because there's just no reason to do this anymore. The release day unboxings were terrible. I was like, I'm stopping this. So since then, almost every game I got digitally, with a few exceptions. Like, for example, I remember buying ARMS physically. I remember buying Breath of the Wild physically. I remember getting Divinity 2 last year. I got a physical copy because it actually was Or was that this year? Whenever that was, I don't even fucking know anymore. The game's so boring. But anyway, Divinity 2, I got a physical copy off Amazon because it was cheaper than getting it digitally. And there are cases where because the physical game was stocked and sold and is sitting on a shelf unsold, the physical game will be cheaper than getting it digitally. As silly as that sounds, you can sometimes get discounts by buying the physical version on, say, Amazon, than getting an all-digital edition. So in those cases, I like having the ability to have the disc, and that's why when I got my PS5 with the disc drive, even though originally I wanted to go all digital, I wasn't too upset about it. I was like, you know, it's fine. Eventually, I'm going to use it, and I've used it at least once. Maybe I'll use it again in the future for stuff, okay? But anyway, the point I'm making here is the writing's been on the wall for many, many years that these game companies don't want to make physical copies. They very much want to phase them out and go all digital, all right? If the point of buying a game and you come home and you have to install the whole game off the internet, if you don't understand this yet, like, I don't know where you've been. I mean, and I'm not necessarily agreeing with the practice. I like the idea that you've bought a game and it's on a disc and you don't need internet. You can put it in your console and play the game, especially if you're talking about the single player component of the game. That seems to be the real issue of contention here is when you buy Halo Infinite physically and you put it into your console, there's no Halo Infinite campaign at all on the disc at all. Now, what's the one thing you would want to play offline if you didn't have an internet and you bought Halo Infinite? The campaign, right? You're not playing online multiplayer. I want to play the campaign. That's what I bought the physical disc for. Put it in your console. It's not even on the disc. You got to download it off the internet. So I think that's why people are arguing here, okay? But still, I just don't understand where people have been and how you're not understanding the cultural shift that's happening here with both gamers and game developers. That physical is gone, man. It's on the way out. It's archaic. Is it nice to have a little collection of games in your game room? Or if you're a content creator, behind you, you have a shelf full of games. You think it's so cool. That's the most played out thing I've ever seen. People have been doing it for like 20 years. But they still think that it's cool to have a fucking game collection behind you or whatever when you film or whatever. You know, there's no point to it anymore. There's just not. It's a bunch of space-taking crap. It doesn't mean anything. The disc isn't the game. It's literally a placeholder. Right? So I don't understand the argument. I mean, I don't. Okay, I get it. I know what they're coming from, but it's kind of like saying, well, everything in the world's changed in the last 10 years, but I still wish that we were, you know, in the year 2009. Well, yeah, 2009 was a great year, but we're in 2021. You either accept it or you look pretty immature, clinging to the past when things have changed all around you. You either adapt or to survive or you die, right? It's Darwinism. You adapt or you die. That's how it works. You can't... Oh, I'm clinging on to all my boxes and I refuse to let go of them and I want to have physical game and why isn't the game on the day? Dude, this has been happening for how many years? How are you not in line with what's going on yet? How did you not see the trend happening, right? Seriously. Now, one thing that I absolutely positively have to say about this, though, is that if we are going to go to an all-digital world, which it seems like that's the trend, that's where we're headed, then we have to have preservation of games. We have to have buy-in from big companies like Sony and Microsoft that they're going to preserve the classics digitally. Because if we all own games digitally, we don't have them physically. In 20 years, when I want to play the Halo Infinite campaign, what if it's not, oh, it's not available digitally anymore. You can't get it, so you can't play it. What? But not, so no, don't worry, I own the disc. Oops, the game's not on the disc. Right? So if we're going to go all digital, we have to have the buy-in from these companies that they're going to preserve gaming culture for us. No more, oh, like the Sony CEO who a year ago was like, who would want to play old Sony games? Who wants to play PS1? Like, what? Me! Someone who grew up playing PS1, who feels nostalgic about those games and wants to go re-experience the classics. Many of which were never ported or reissued or remastered for modern consoles. I want to play the classics. Don't tell me that we don't need to have these preserved. We do. It's a major part of gaming culture. If you're going to tell me that games are art, because that's really what we're headed towards now. Games are art. Games are works of art that need to be enjoyed and preserved, right? So then preserve them. Don't tell me, oh, well, we have no way to play them and we're going to get rid of the PlayStation Store on PS3 so you can't play that stuff. We're just going to toss everything away. That's ridiculous, you know. So, you know, that's the thing is that, you know, all these game companies want to try to push the future on us, but then they have to prepare for that, you know. And if they don't, then shame on them for making us all go all digital and then saying, oh, by the way, at any moment we could pull the plug on the digital. Now you have no access to any of that content that you've purchased over the years. That's good content that maybe you want to go back to. Like, there's many games that I've gone back to over and over the years, and having them digitally allows me to replay them a few times without having to rebuy them, right? That's a good thing. So, anyway, the whole deal with the whole Halo Infinite thing is I don't think it's a big deal at all, just being honest. I think it's kind of a silly thing that people are arguing. Because they're just not accepting that things have changed. They want to still, you know, I guess Halo is the game to do it because Halo was the launch title for the original Xbox. There's probably people who feel so nostalgic about the series, like, man, I remember when I had my original Xbox, my copy of Halo, and I pumped it in, I played it, I loved it. It felt like the future of gaming and blah, blah, blah. You get that nostalgia factor, right? Okay, I get that. I totally get that. But at the same time, understand that 2021 is not 2001. And these things will change over time, okay? Okay, fair enough. So that's one of the major things going on. Very briefly, I would like to very much address something stupid that happened yesterday on my Metroid Dread stream, just to clear the air, because it's so dumb, there's really nothing to even clear, but once again, the internet is such a boring place for losers that what they try to do is they try to cling on to stuff that's not real and turn it into something for their own personal benefit and gain. And as you guys know, recently my streams have been going really great. Everything's been going good in my content and on my streams. And, you know, right now the holiday season's in full swing. People are enjoying everything I'm doing. And, you know, holiday festive feelings on my streams, animations, everything going great, right? And so people who don't like me hate that. Oh, my God, Phil's doing well. Oh, my God, he's been doing streams where people are supporting the streams in droves. And the content is good, and you know, things are going better on DSPGaming on YouTube. You're kidding me. He's actually getting subs on the channel now. People are starting to like his videos and leave comments on the videos and positive stuff, and there's growth on DSPGaming. How dare Phil get even a modicum of success? Now we have to do everything in our power to try to ruin that, despite the fact that it's December. It's Christmas fucking month, right? It's the month of the year when everyone should be feeling jolly and festive and positive, goodwill toward men. Maybe this would be the month where we don't act like scumbags to Darkside Phil. Fat chance of that ever happening, right? Because when you're a full-time loser, you never take time off from harassing people online. So yesterday, I was playing Metroid Dread, and actually you can, if you watch the pre-stream earlier from yesterday as well, there's a running joke going on during the day. The running joke is that when someone does a $10 tip, there's an animation that plays from Jingle All the Way, the holiday movie, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. And there's a scene where it's my face superimposed over Arnold's face as he punches a Santa, and the Santa also looks like me. Right? Animations are great this year. I absolutely love them. And shout out to the person who made these awesome animations for me this year. It's really helping the streams. It's making them feel so much festive and fun. I really love it. Okay? So the running joke is that, oh, that's a hybrid of Phil and Arnold. And I think I made the joke during the pre-stream. I was like, oh, it's Arnold Schwarzenegger. Right? I said something like that during the pre-stream yesterday. So now we are playing Metroid Dread. You know, we're in the middle of the gameplay. And multiple people tip that level. It's like $10 level. And so that animation is playing over and over and over. Okay? In like a loop. It's like 3 times back to back it's playing. Or at least twice. Maybe 3 times back to back. And everyone's laughing and joking about it. And I was starting to try to make hybrids of the name, you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger and my name. So I think I was like, I'm trying to remember the first one I said. But basically, one of the things that I said, and to avoid problems since people are such assholes and they'll try to reflag and say stuff again, I basically said like Phil and then the second half of Arnold Schwarzenegger's last name. And it sounded exactly like that. It sounded like half my name and then half of his name. There was no way if you're watching the video or watching the stream in context that you could misconstrue that. Okay? But these idiots say, oh my God, did you hear what Phil said? That kind of sounded like a bad word. Oh my God, Phil's a racist. Like, what? And again, it's a joke. Anyone watching the stream is laughing. They're like, this is hilarious. You know, it's funny what's going on the stream. It's the animation, everything. And then you start noticing the drama queens in the chat because they were all quiet and behaving. Then all of a sudden, they all start piping in. Did you hear what Phil said? Oh my God, did you hear what Phil said? Did you hear what Phil said? It's like, what? What are you talking about? And everyone who was on the stream was like, what are you talking about? Like, that, there's nothing that happened. You're like, what? And then all of a sudden, 10, 20, 30 people start coming into the stream at once. Guess who they were watching, right? They were obviously watching the restreamers, the rebroadcasters, who just sit there to make fun of me all day. And they start stirring up this drama in the chat. Did you hear Phil said this? Phil said, like, what are you talking about? No, Phil didn't say anything. We were here. What the fuck are you talking about? Right? Like, what? You're out of your mind. This is exactly, to a T, what happened many months ago over on Twitch. So if you're not aware, the actual reason why I left Twitch was this reason, okay? I was streaming Returnal. And in the middle of streaming Returnal, when you pick up items and stuff while you're playing it, there's all these pop-ups that happen on the screen that read stats of items you're picking up. And remember, in Returnal, it's RNG. You don't know what items you're going to get or what enhancements they're going to do. On the fly, you have to be paying attention to these items because you want to pick up the right ones to give you enhancements to enhance your combat. I was in the middle of a fight with enemies all around me, and I was reading the descriptions of the items dropping on the ground, and one of the words I said was like a jumble. Like, I got tongue-tied. I was in the middle of saying something, and it was a word that sounded kind of like a bad word, but it definitely wasn't. And I said half of the word, but then skipped forward to like another word. So it was all jumble. If you listen to it, it doesn't sound like anything. It sounds like blah, 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 you know, tongue-tied. But half of a word sounds like, I guess, a bad word. And so what did the trolls do? They literally isolated just the clip, not the actual scene of what was going on. They took a clip of that stream and just the moment of me saying half a word, okay? And they sent it to Twitch and mass reported me and said, Phil was saying racist stuff on his stream. And the morons at Twitch are so fucking stupid because if you don't know, it's 2021 and Twitch still has a volunteer moderation staff. I just want to emphasize this. They're a major company rolling in money. They make millions of dollars a day on profit of people who put content on their site. And they still have a volunteer moderation staff. Yes, it's true. So one of the moronic volunteer moderators looked at this clip out of context, okay, and said, oh, Phil said a racist word, and actually banned me from Twitch. Now, obviously it didn't happen. It's factually incorrect. So I disputed that, and I said, you're out of your mind. This didn't happen. I demand that you reinstate the channel immediately because this is completely erroneous, and I'm not going to put up with this. Within 2 hours of me requesting it, it was removed. And I was allowed to go back and stream on Twitch again, but I was like, so let me get this straight about Twitch. Right? This is a situation where clearly I didn't do the thing wrong that they're claiming I did. There's no evidence that I did, because if you actually take 5 seconds to see the context of what people are saying I did, it didn't happen. All you need to do is watch the gameplay, and you'll see what they're saying happened never happened. Right? So all you need to do is be intelligent, and you would realize that this didn't happen, yet they punished me because they're unintelligent. They're unprofessional and unintelligent. What's to stop them from doing this en masse in the future, right? What's to stop Twitch from saying, oh, Phil did this, Phil did that. Anytime there's a mass report from these trolls, they're just going to believe it, and fucking then I have to clear it up after the fact? No, I'm not going to put up with that. I'm just not. I'm not going to try to make a living on a site that's so unprofessional, right? And by the way, it had only been a few weeks prior that they had kicked me out of the partner program with no evidence of wrongdoing. They said I did something wrong. Oh, You were, what were they? Well, I even forget at this point what they even said, hateful slurs or hateful speech or something. I don't even know what they said anymore. I'm so at a loss for it. And I was like, okay, you're saying I did that. I know I didn't. Show me evidence. And this was me talking with the legal team at Twitch. I said, you're required by law to show me evidence. And if you have no evidence to show me, then I request that you're going to reinstate my channel immediately, or else I'm going to leave your site and not use it anymore. Guess what happened? They refused to provide any evidence. They didn't want to talk to me about it further. Basically, they just said, oh, well. And I was like, well, I'll do my best, because here's the thing. I was between a rock and a hard place back then. I was like, if I leave Twitch, I'm abandoning this community that I built for 4.5 years. This community which I've dedicated full time my work life to, you know, for 4.5 years. I mean, think of what we had over on Twitch, right? The views we had, the amount of subs every month. It was amazing, right? It was crazy. It was it felt like a good social thing over there, right? A group of people who every day came together, enjoyed games. It was a really good group. And I knew that if I uprooted my business from Twitch and moved over here to YouTube and plopped it down, not everyone was going to come over in the transition. To this day, we still get people who are on the streams here who are like, hey, I'm finally coming to YouTube. It's been, you know, 6-7 months you've been on YouTube. I'm finally here to check out your YouTube content. It's like, dude, wow. That certainly took you a long time, right? But I'm happy to have the people. But you understand what I'm saying. Any change is usually hard to accept. It's a slow adoption of a change like this. And even though I'm pleased with what we've done with these streams on YouTube this year, right? I basically uprooted a viewership that was so used to being on Twitch and the mannerisms of the way that things work on Twitch, the chat and everything, the moderation, and trying to make things work on YouTube. You know, it's very different over here. Every time I set up a stream, I have to set up a new stream. You can't even sit in a chat room and talk with people constantly. It changes every stream and stuff. It's very different. I tried for 3+ weeks to stay on Twitch, even though I was out of the partner program for no valid legal reason. They had no evidence of anything I had done wrong, and they refused to provide any. Okay? I still tried to stay there for your sake, basically, for the sake of the viewers who were there, and I had built this community around. I didn't want to abandon that right away. So I basically tried my best to maintain a business there, just running on tips. There was no I say super second. There were no cheers. There were no subs. It was just tips. And honestly, after about 3 weeks, it wasn't so bad. It certainly wasn't great, but it wasn't so bad. I was thinking maybe we could still pull it off. And then this thing happened in Returnal, where people mass flagged me saying I had said something I didn't say, and then they actually suspended me or banned me or whatever it was erroneously. And that was definitely that was the straw that broke the camel's back for me, where I was like, if this could happen, this is just the beginning of the end. This is like the leak, the small leak you see in the boat that later on is just going to explode and the whole boat's going to sink. You see? I don't want to have a leaky boat. I don't want to operate on a leaky boat. I want to be on a nice, secure boat where we're all having a good time. We feel safe. The boat ain't rocking. The boat ain't leaking. We're all just, you know, this is a cool cruise we're on here together on stream, right? I don't want it that at any moment I'm walking on fucking eggshells because, God forbid, someone says I did something I didn't do. There's a fucking moron that works at Twitch that believes it and actually bans me for it when it didn't fucking happen, and then they're going to fix it after the fact. No, fuck you. I'm just not going to deal with your unprofessional, ridiculous bullshit. You guys suck. And that was the decision I made. Is like, when that happened, I said, that's it. That is the end of that. I'm moving to YouTube. Okay? So the reason I'm bringing this up and giving you the history is because yesterday a similar situation happened here on a Metroid Dread stream. And I hate to say it, a bunch of drama queen pieces of shit decided to try to make videos about it and say that I did something that I didn't do. If you actually watch the stream in context, you know it didn't happen. You're like, wait a minute, I'm watching it now. This didn't happen. Phil was joking about Arnold Schwarzenegger. And he makes a hybrid of his name and Arnold's name over and over, trying to find funny combinations or whatever. And then he continues on with the stream, just brushes it off and ignores it. Why is it that these idiots have to latch onto this and act like something bad happened? And by the way, do you think they mass reported me? Of course they did. Of course they fucking did. They're assholes. They're scumbags. Now, here's the difference. Okay? On Twitch, they're morons. They're unprofessional. They make mistake after mistake. They fuck everything up. Okay? On YouTube, I'm going to be honest with you. I am not worried. I'm not. I'm not worried in any way, shape, or form that anything is going to come of this. I'm not. Because on YouTube, they actually have some kind of air of professionalism when it comes to this stuff. They do. Even if YouTube seems to make a mistake, you can usually talk with YouTube about it and get it resolved. That's my experience. Not to say that this happens often, because it usually doesn't, okay? But there have been times in the past when I've noticed that a video gets flagged for something. And I'm like, I don't agree with that. I don't think that's correct. And I would talk with YouTube and get it resolved, and then we're back to normal and everything's fine, okay? So in this regard, I look at the situation and I'm like, I know these morons mass flagged it. I'm not stupid, right? I know, I'm not dumb. I know that they're going to say I did something that I didn't do. They're probably going to spam every avenue possible with stuff that didn't happen. And all an intelligent person has to do is watch the clip in context, and you say, oh, okay, I see what happened, nothing. And move on, right? I'm literally not worried. When I'm here on YouTube, I'm not walking on eggshells. I know that I don't say and do things that are against anyone's terms of service. I purposely make my streams tame. Take a look at my streams compared to some of the other shit that people do, right? I don't talk politics. I don't talk religion. I don't talk racial issues. I don't do any of this shit. I don't do any of the generalized racial comedy that I used to do. I barely do any sexualized humor. I've basically toned myself down over the years, right? So that we can chill together. We can have a fun time on stream, and you guys don't ever have to worry. Okay? You don't even have to worry about that stuff. It's fine. I'm not worried in the least about this. Seriously, I'm not. How could anything come of something that didn't happen, right? It doesn't matter how many morons say something. It's still not true. This is exactly like these weird conspiracy theorists who want to say that when, oh my God, if you get the fucking COVID vaccine, you grow a fourth arm on your back or something. Because everyone has 3 arms, right? The weirdest shit. They just say stuff. They make stuff up, and then they talk themselves into a circle, into a fervor, until they feel like it's truthful, when it's not. It's this weirdo conspiracy theory groupthink shit that it baffles me, because I used to never know this shit existed until people started hating on me on the internet and started creating these giant lies, but they would just say the lie so many times in a circle that they would all believe it, right? So anyway, I bring this up because, for me, people all day have been contacting me. I actually have people behind the scenes writing me emails. Are you worried about this? Do you think that's no? No, I'm not worried about it. I didn't do it. The evidence is there. That would be like saying, is there a video camera footage of you punching someone straight in the face? No, there isn't. So I'm not worried about it. Nothing went wrong. I didn't do anything wrong. So why would I be afraid of something happening when it didn't happen, right? But then people, well, you should delete that clip. You should delete that part of the playthrough. You should edit the video to bring the audio out of that. What are you talking about? Why would I do that? Why would I do that? In all the years that I've been a content creator, okay? All the years that I've done this for a living, there have been 0 videos where I've done that. 0. 0. Because the best way to defend yourself to misinformation on the internet is to allow the actual truthful information to be out there. You see? The moment that I would delete that video, or I would try to edit the audio out or something, that shows maybe that, there was a feeling of like you actually did do something wrong, and now you're trying to hide it, right? Oh God, I did something wrong. After the fact, I better hide that by deleting it or editing it. I didn't do anything wrong, right? So what am I hiding? Nothing. I didn't say the thing that these morons are trying to say I said. You have to be a jackass to believe it, which is the truth. Anyone, literally anyone, who would say that, who would make a video about it, who would watch a video about it, who would share a video about it, is a jackass. You are an actual detriment to human existence. You literally make shit up to try to hurt others, to get a laugh, or to try to, to get some drama for today. You are the problem with human society. If you didn't exist, we'd all be better off. People who pass around crap like that and behave in that manner actually hurt people who are good people. People who are out there to make productive lives, to help others, to be happy and positive. Negative, disgusting drama queens actually make life worse. There has not been a single situation where being a drama queen and making up gossip and making up this kind of shit has ever helped someone. It's always just hurt someone. When you're outright lying and saying someone did something they didn't do, in order to cause drama and get clickbait views. You are a scumbag. You have no redeeming qualities. Everything you just did was bad, immoral, wrong. There's no defending you. You are a piece of shit. And you should actually rethink your life if this is what you do for a living. Really. Oh, all I do is I make slander videos about someone. What the fuck is wrong with you? Really? Do you think you're going to have a meaningful life doing that? Like, oh my God. And this is the thing, is that these people fucking do this all the time. And it's not just this situation. Like I said, there's a million times when this happens all the time. So, for me, it's Monday for me. Today's Monday. Today is not a special day where Phil was made to look bad on the internet and attacked. Today's just a normal day. This happens to me all the time. It really does. But it's actually funny to me that I had some people contacting me behind the scenes and say, Phil, you better look out. These people are out to get you. Did you see what they're doing? They're making videos that are saying you did something you didn't do, and you should delete that video. I was like, no. Are you out of your mind? I would never delete that video. Are you? That video is the clear-cut evidence that I didn't do anything wrong. Why in the hell would I delete it? By the way, to give you guys some perspective, okay? When that thing happened on Twitch, back in, what was it, April, May, whenever I was playing Returnal, I don't actually remember when that happened. I uploaded that video in its entirety to YouTube, no problem. That playthrough is intact, there's no issue there. People mass reported me on YouTube for that one too. And guess what happened? Nothing. Because YouTube doesn't fuck around. YouTube doesn't have a bunch of unprofessional volunteers who believe drama making major site judgments. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not stupid. they're just not. They don't do that kind of stuff. Twitch does. YouTube doesn't. So I'm not worried in the least. Nothing's going to come of this because I didn't do anything wrong. I'll leave the video up. That's your evidence that nothing went wrong. And just let the idiots say what they want. Let them sit there and circle jerk each other. Because that's the thing. That's all they want. All they want is to get jollies off. Oh my God, this is funny. We can make fun of Phil. We can say he did something he didn't do. And we'll sit here endlessly saying that he did it. No, I didn't. Never did. And you could say what you want all day and you can make up shit. Well, the only thing that and this is true, I really, really, really wish YouTube would be more serious. Not about, okay, they don't take that seriously. They're not going to, punish me for doing something I didn't do. That's good. But I really wish that there was a recourse against it. Right now, there's literally videos saying I did something I didn't do. It's factually incorrect. You can watch the raw video and see it didn't happen. So why is that video allowed on YouTube? That's slander, defamation, whatever you want to classify it. It's actually a lie. And it's misinformation meant to hurt me. It's directed at me to hurt me. Why is that video allowed on YouTube? Why don't people identify that and say, okay, I see that this is harmful, bad, garbage content. It's a lie, and we need to delete it. Because here's the thing. They do that with stuff about the COVID vaccines. They've done that with stuff about politics. They've done that before. They've identified this is harmful information. It's false. It needs to be removed. You see? So why don't they do that with other stuff? Why don't they take it to the next level? Because this is the problem with YouTube. The entire site is rife with this crap, okay? There's entire content creators that would not exist on YouTube if slander and defamation were not allowed. If you had to vet the stuff you said on YouTube and actually confirm it's factually right before you made big drama videos about it, there would be entire giant people on YouTube out of business overnight. So why don't they? Why do you allow a toxic place where people can say whatever the fuck they want about anyone, and they can even perpetrate it? They can circle jerk it around until so many people believe it's real when it's not. What kind of a place is that? And how do you say this is a professional place to run a business when you allow that on your business, right? That's ridiculous. Do you allow people in any other business in the world? Are people allowed to walk in and just start spouting insane conspiracy theories in the middle of your business? And it's okay? I just don't understand it. Anywhere else, you'd be arrested. Thrown out into the street. What the fuck's your problem? You're out of your mind. YouTube, it's fine. Promote the content, right? Promote the video. It's just stupidity. And again, that's how YouTube's algorithm works. YouTube's algorithm is, you make a video, it's drama. Because it's drama, all the immature, toxic, immoral people latch onto it. They perpetrate it as truth. They rotate it. They spew it, they regurgitate it, and now it becomes trending on YouTube. It becomes the hot video that day for that person. You know, anyone searching for DSPGaming or Darkside Phil, can they find my fun playthroughs that I've been doing for the last few weeks? No, they find that. The false thing, completely taken out of context, that's incorrect and a lie. That's what they see about me. They can't find my positive content because YouTube has a very flawed system in regards to this, okay? Wrong. People are saying it's called free speech. Wrong. It's not. You're wrong. Here's the thing about free speech, and this is what people don't understand, okay? Free speech means you have the freedom to say whatever you want. It's true. You have the freedom to say whatever you want. However, free speech does not mean you have the freedom to say whatever you want without repercussions or consequences. That's not what freedom of speech is. You have the freedom to say it, but then if you lied and said something bad about someone or some business or whatever, you outright lied to harm them, guess what? That's called defamation or slander or whatever, and you're going to be prosecuted for it. That's what it means. You have the right to say whatever you want, but if you said something false to get an agenda, you are going to be held responsible for it. There's a difference. There really is a difference. I don't understand how people don't get that difference. Freedom of speech means I can literally sit here and say every incorrect thing ever about anyone, and I'm completely protected. Wrong. That's not freedom of speech. Go research the doctrine and figure out what it is. You don't know what you're talking about. No, here's the truth about freedom of speech. Okay? Let's say, for example, our government is doing something you disagree with. You don't like the way our government is running. Okay? You can say, I don't like the way our government is running, and the government can't come to your house and beat you up and arrest you and throw you in a gulag. Because you have freedom of speech to criticize the government. Someone absolutely has the right now to make a video and say, I really don't like Darkside Phil. I feel his content is boring or crappy. It's low production value. I don't like the guy. I feel like maybe he's an asshole. He's a scumbag. I don't like his jokes. He's lame. Maybe I feel like he's disingenuous. Blah, 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 blah. You have the right to say all of that. 100%. You have the right to outright criticize me and say you don't like me or whatever. That's freedom of speech. You do not have the right to lie and say, Phil did this, and here's evidence of it, and then present something that's actually out of context and not evidence of it, but because you presented it out of context, you now act like it's something that it's not. Right? That's illegal. It's actually against the fucking law to do that. You cannot do that. That's not freedom of speech. But people don't understand the difference. You want to know why? Because they're not smart. You got dumbass people out there who have these blanket feelings that everything's protected. Everything they do in life is protected. I can do whatever the fuck I want. I have unlimited freedom of everything because it's protected under freedom of speech. Wrong. You're a moron. You have to actually do research to find out what's real and what's not. Because if you keep talking yourselves into these weird-ass situations, oh, I'm protected from everything, man, you're going to find yourself fucked in life. You will. You're going to find yourself, you ready? Unhireable. No one's ever going to want you for a job if you're out there saying the dumbest conspiracy theory shit all over the internet that's not true, blatant lies, and you're an idiot. Who the fuck's going to want to hire you for a job, right? No one's going to want to associate with you outside of your crazy-ass circles of nut jobs who say this crazy shit on the internet. Who the fuck, what normal person wants to do anything with you, right? That's what I mean. This is all, it's ridiculous stuff. These people, oh, I'm protected, man. I can just say whatever I want. Wrong. That's not how it works. That's never how it works. The whole intention of freedom of speech in the Constitution, right, was never meant for that. It was not you could just outright lie and be vile and say disgusting things about people that aren't true and you just say whatever you want, you're protected. That was never the intention of the people who wrote these laws and things. But people are so dumb that they talk themselves into believing that. Just like they talk themselves into any other stupid, dumb-ass situation where, oh, this is true and this is true. This conspiracy is true. This is true. Did you hear this about this and this? No, it's all bullshit. You're a fucking moron. You would believe that Bigfoot was outside knocking on your door right now if I told you. But you're so, you know what I mean? That's what I mean. These people don't get it. They just don't get it. Okay? So, it's that simple. And it sucks that YouTube doesn't care. Really. That's one of the major things I've always hated about YouTube. They just don't care. Right now, if I were to complain to YouTube, Seriously, if I were to complain to YouTube about this situation, and I said, there's a video out there that's completely either defamation or slander, it really is fake. Even if you look at the evidence they're presenting to say I said or did something, it's wrong. It's not true. All right? YouTube would look at it and say, okay, but you have to sue them. They would literally say, they would say, okay, fine, we believe you, but we don't want to get involved. We don't want to be legally tied up in this. We don't want to be embroiled in a battle between you and this party. So sue them. And the moment you sue them and you show us evidence of the lawsuit that you're suing them, that this was defamation or slander, we'll take the video down. And then you're good. That's literally what they say. Okay? Listen. Who do you think you're talking to? Right? Like, I'm not some ginormous content creator rolling in dough. I don't have a team of legal experts behind me flagging stuff all over YouTube and filing lawsuits on my behalf. This is ridiculous. Okay? So, it's that simple. You know, since I'm not rich, I don't have recourse against these people. That's what actually it boils down to. Because I'm not rich, I can't stop these people from saying and doing whatever they want about me. This will always continue forever. This will always be an endless loop that people will be bored with their own lives and seek to ruin mine by bringing me down to their toxic level and saying shit about me that didn't happen or I didn't do, and providing false evidence, you know, out of context clip, edited clip, making it sound or look like I did something I didn't do, you know, for their own purposes. Now, they all had views yesterday, right? They all made these videos. They got some views that they didn't earn because they're scumbags. They lied, right? And now, you know, now I got people all worried and shit. Don't be worried. I'm not worried in the least. It's something that didn't happen. It literally didn't happen. The evidence is there. The evidence was back there for Returnal. The evidence is there here for Metroid Dread. This stuff doesn't happen. It's a lie. It's a blatant bullshit, and I'm not worried about it in the least. But it's stupid that I even have to talk about it, but this is the big talk of the internet over the past day, that Phil said this or did this and all this negative toxic shit about me, you know? It's so dumb, you know? But this is just, I wish, I really do wish that YouTube would actually step up and take some ownership for the crap on their site. Because they don't. They say, unless we're getting sued, we don't care. And I think that's a terrible way to go about it. I understand that they've got millions upon millions of people who upload every day, and you can't police every single video, right? But at the very same time, when you have people who actively are trying to hurt and destroy people, and you can see that. Every one of those videos that lied about me yesterday, all the reason they put that was because they want to hurt me. They're all lies. They're all blatant lies. There's no truth to anything that they said. They're all 100% lies, man. But it's like, why can't I stop it? Oh, because you're not rich. You can't sue every person who made the video to take it down. What the fuck? Right? This is out of control. And this is how I've been steamrolled into an existence of always being a villain, always being told I'm a bad person, I'm a bad content creator. Oh, you don't want to deal with Darkside Phil. Did you hear the million bad things about him? That none of which are true. These are the same situation that's happened over the years, over and over and over. And I have no defense against it. You know? And you get to a point where it's like, you just become kind of like, what's the word, punch drunk? It happens so often that you're just desensitized to it, you know? There was a time when I'd be really upset about this. Really. I'd be like, oh my God, I'm up in arms and fuck these people. And I literally don't even know who they are anymore, because every day there's a new person who does it. I don't even know who the fuck these people are anymore. I pay no attention to it. Right now, I couldn't tell you the names of anyone who restreams my content anymore. I haven't paid attention to it in about 2 years. I can't. I can't live like that. I'm the kind of person, I need to move forward positively. I need to make positive content for my audience. And that's how I like to live. If I lived in the negativity all the time and focused on the things people said about me, I would never have time to make positive content, and I'd probably be in a mental institution somewhere bouncing off the walls. I can't live like that, you know? I've got to focus on good stuff with you guys. I got to focus on, let's have a fun gameplay stream today. Let's play Vice City and have a great time together and do all this fun stuff together today, right? That's always been my mentality with this stuff. And that's how I'm going to move forward positively, okay? Today, the morons gave me something to talk about on the PreStream podcast. And that's really how I see it. Wow, you gave me a topic to talk about today. Thanks, guys. You filled my podcast. I didn't really have anything else to talk about. It was a slow day, like no news or nothing going on. So it actually gave me the opportunity to gab a little bit about stuff, which is nice. Some filler content, right? But there you go. So here's the funny thing. Rabbit Couch has been spamming this message over and over in the chat because he's probably a defender of these people because he's stupid. He says, if you genuinely believe the statement is true, you have the right to say it according to U.S. legal precedent. That's how libel and slander is decided. They aren't crimes, they're torts. Yes, except that what they're saying factually isn't true. All you need to do is watch the videos that I put out yesterday. The actual gameplay of Metroid Dread. You see the animation playing. You see me saying Schwarzenegger over and over and over, and then making variations of his name with my name interjected in it. You see what it is. There's nothing there of anything bad in any way, shape, or form. So literally, any person who said that on the internet did libel or slander, whatever it is, defamation, to me. They committed a crime. Because what they're saying is there is not there. It's a lie. It's a blatant lie. Right? It's like saying, Bill Murray punched someone in the street today. Okay? Where's the evidence of it? Well, here's a video of Bill Murray, and he's reaching out, and he kind of brushes the side of someone's face nicely. Okay? So, where did he punch someone? We have the... Oh, wait, let's take that out of context. And they just show his hand going and kind of touching the guy's face, and then they cut away. See, he struck that man. What are you talking about? It didn't... But that's what they do. They take it completely out of context and say it's something that's not. It's a lie. It's a blatant lie. You can't say you saw it because it didn't happen. You know? It's that simple. And here's the thing. If they believe it, then it's not illegal. Wrong. Wrong. Because you believe something is real that's not, doesn't protect you under free speech. All right? If you say right now, oh my God, think about this. If you say right now that a certain person went into someone's house and murdered someone's whole family, and this is factually true, even if you believe it, that doesn't protect you to just say it if it's factually false. Wrong. How the fuck can you be this dumb? Really? How can you be this dumb? The problem is, I hate to say it, every day there's more dumb people out there, man. Every day there's stupider people. How do you think our country in the United States has gotten to the point where it is? Where people actually just believe nonsense about everything now. It's not just about, oh, I believe that this is right and this is wrong politically or whatever. Now it's like facts, science. Oh, that's not true. What do you mean? Here's the evidence. Like literally, here's the evidence of what I'm saying is true or false. Oh, disregard that. I still believe what I believe. Like, oh boy. Anyway, that's enough of that. I got it off my chest. You guys know it's bullshit. Nothing's gonna happen. It's all baloney, and that's why I don't pay attention to this shit. I don't. You know, I only knew that it was happening because people are contacting me about it. They're like, you know, there's a few videos about this on YouTube now, and of course now there's all the gossip about it and blah blah blah. I'm like, I don't care. I don't care. The fuck do I care? The same shit happens every day, man. Right? Exactly. BattleDuck says, it's changed. It used to be stop, check, and think for yourself. Now it's become just check out what this guy's tweeted and said about someone. Exactly right. If you don't go the extra step to verify what someone says, then you failed. If you just blanket believe what someone says or does, that's stupid. When I say something about a video game, I back it up with gameplay. I don't just sit here and say, this game sucks. Okay, let's move on. No, I say, this game sucks. Here's why. We were playing the game and this happened and this happened and this happened. If literally someone just says, this person did this, here's an out of context clip that kind of sounds like what I'm saying but really isn't. Oh, well, they did it, you see? No. No, stupid. It's on you as a responsible human to actually verify what they're saying and not regurgitate insulting things or defamatory things about someone until you verified it's true. If you spread that shit out to the internet, you're part of the problem. You're actually concretely part of the reason why the internet is so fucked up and toxic and immoral and disgusting today. Because you just regurgitate stuff that's not true because you're stupid. Okay. Let us now do some shout-outs, my friends. Because I'm done talking about that. I just don't care. Okay. On the YouTube side of things, we have many contributions that have come in. We start today with Mario Brothers re-upping his membership and saying it's always good hitting another milestone. I agree. Now, we hit 334 members yesterday. That was the big milestone. Sadly, overnight, we did lose a few, okay? We did lose a few members, which sucks, okay? It really does suck. But it is what it is. Today, we could very easily get back to 334 and hit that record again. I would like to maybe go up a few. If you like the channel, you like the content, please support it. Become a member today, okay? Thank you. Need for Beans was our first super chatter today. $4.20. He said, Issa vibe. I think he was talking about Vice City when I said we're going to vibe today, right? Thank you. Excuse me. Darkness has become a member for 7 months in a row. Thank you for re-upping your membership, Darkness. He says 7 months already. Bring it on. Sounds good. Just My Channel did a super chat. He says even if Phil had said what he had said, he was insulting himself anyway. But again, even if that was as dumb as a reasoning that is, even that doesn't make any sense. How would that make any sense? It wouldn't. Again, you have to suspend your disbelief. You have to become such a mouth-drooling idiot to believe the things people say. You have to forego all facts around the situation to even have an inkling of believing with the stuff that people say about me, right? Snack Size Attila did a super chat. Says, I don't care about this. I'm here to conversate and talk about the game. And don't worry, because in moments we will be starting Vice City, and then all this will be just a fart in the wind. No one's going to give a crap about this. Need for Beans just did a $3 super chat, and they did another $5 super chat. So thank you to the Need for Beans for these super chats this morning. I appreciate that. And then T.Holmes re-upped his membership at an ultra supporter level. All right, that is the top level. Okay? And that's awesome. I'm very appreciative that you have supported this channel the way you have, T.Holmes. Thank you so much for your support. He says, time flies. Don't know how it's already been 7 months, but happy 7 months. Yeah, if you can believe it, right? It's been 7 months since that time when I was playing Returnal, when Twitch decided to become insanely unprofessional and just show how dumb that they fucking are. And I said, fuck this. I'm uprooting my business and I'm going somewhere else. 7 months. 7 months of support from you guys. Thank you guys so much. Okay. Now, we switch over to the tip side of stuff. And we start with an anonymous $8.74 tip, who says, how old are Holly and Jolly now? Huh? Does anyone understand that? Did I ever have Holly and Jolly as characters in my content and he's asking how old they are? That one went like right over my head. $8.74. Anyone get that? That one. He's talking about elves that I used to have behind me. I used to have elves behind me? What? I did? When the hell did I ever have elves sitting behind me? I remember, obviously, we've got Cookie, the Christmas pooch, right? We've got Chestnut, the squirrel. When did we ever have elves sitting behind me? You're really freaking me out now. What? Is there an alternate universe Phil? There might be at this point. Maybe, okay, now I figured it out. Alright? I figured it out. That's who everyone's talking about. Alternate universe Phil. They're not talking about me when they're talking about all this shit. I didn't do it. It's an alternate universe Phil who's doing it all. That's what it must be. Very nice. I really don't remember anything Holly and Jolly. Really. Like, I would definitely need more context on that one. Okay. GTA Slayer has tipped me $4.20 and says, hello, Phil. I don't really have much to say this time, apart from showing my support and excitement for the first major GTA Vice City stream. It's going to be fun watching you play through Vice City and then eventually to 3 as well. I agree. 3 will be very interesting because, man, that game, as I said, is very outdated. It's such an old game that it plays archaic. And it's fine because you want to play an archaic game like that and you want to see where all the sandbox games came from. It's really cool to kind of see the one that was the origins of everything, right? But man, that game needed improvement. So it's going to be interesting to see how much that game has improved, right? John Doe says, Holly and Jolly are 2 cats that I've named on my Christmas sweater. I swear, there's some people out there who, like, they remember everything. I couldn't tell you for a moment that I ever did that. Like, that was probably like a momentary thing I did on a stream, and it was joking, and, you know, we moved on immediately and never referenced it ever again. We got a guy bringing it up. Wow. It very well could be true. I don't know. Carlton Jr. tipped me $1.50 and says, your assessment of the state of physical gaming media is accurate. If you're only gaming for yourself, but I have a younger family member that I buy Christmas gifts and birthday gifts for, so I still get physical games. I do think people are nitpicking with Halo, though. Okay, I understand what you're saying, like gift giving. At the very same time, I would say there's 2 situations. Number one, a lot of games, did you realize when you buy the physical box, you open it and there's no disc in it either? There's just a code. That's been happening now. Nintendo games in particular. You buy a Switch game, you open it up, there's a code inside. There's no game, not even a game cartridge thing, nothing. Just a code inside. If anything, maybe what they could do is they could have special holiday editions of these games where, like, even think about the only time we're going to sell physical copies is during the holidays. So it's actually like holiday packaging, right? It could be red and green box with, the Christmas edition of Halo Infinite, special edition. You buy it and, you get maybe an avatar. That's a Christmas avatar plus the digital code for the game or something like that. And you give it to your family member, your friend for Christmas. I could see that. But, like, for me, I'd be like, why don't you just buy credits? Why not give someone one of those cards? Oh, here's a PlayStation Network card. Here's the Xbox Live card. Go get whatever game you want today, right? I don't know. I hear what you're saying, though. Gift giving, definitely you could get a little bit of an advantage there. I get that. Chicken Man tipped me $1.50. He says, Epic Games is releasing their first public tech demo for the new Unreal Engine 5 Series X and PS5 engine. They showed it off last year based in the Matrix universe on Wednesday. I'm not sure how long it is, but could that be something that you check out on Xbox for a night stream? Oh, it depends on what it is. If it's something interesting you guys really want to see me watch, okay. All it is, you're watching something. There's no gameplay, I think. It's just a tech demo. So I don't even know if they'd allow people to stream it because it's an unalterable clip, right? Let me know. Let me know if it's something you'd be interested in. Ryo Chongus. To me, $4.20 says, I don't care. I'm not here to conversate. I'm here to talk about the game. There you go. I think that's a Wings meme. I could be right. I could be wrong. I don't know. I don't follow Wings that much, but I think that was a Wings meme. I'm not here to conversate, right? An anonymous $1.50 tipper says, we love you, but a lot of us heard a bad word. So you're stupid then. No, really. And I mean that too. I'm sorry. If you actually think you heard me say that word, you are 100% undeniably, irrefutably dumb. Because it didn't happen. If your mind makes you hear things that aren't happening, you're stupid. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you actually hear something that's not what's happening, but your mind is telling you it's one thing because it wants to correlate with something bad for your own malicious purposes, right? You're a moron. No, really. You're stupid. I don't care if you, because he goes on to try, oh, you're trying to say Schwarzenegger and it's not malicious. So no, it didn't. What you're saying happened actually didn't happen. I watched the clip back. Well, yesterday when I was uploading the videos, I knew that someone would make a big to-do about it. Okay? And I listened back and that's not what happened at all. It's literally me saying a hybrid of Schwarzenegger and my name. I do it twice. I actually say Phil in that, and then I say Burnell in that. And it's twice I say it, and neither time am I saying what people are trying to say I said. You have to actually be lying to say that that's what was said. You have to lie. So fuck off. No, really, and I mean it. If you're that dumb, fuck off. You don't belong here. We don't want those kind of people. People who literally will sit on my stream and say, I'm just going to wait for Phil to kind of say something here that sounds like something bad so I can say he said it. I don't want you here. You're not welcome. You never will be. You are a moron. You're someone who has actually brainwashed yourself into believing negative, toxic shit, and no one needs you around, really. And I mean this too, like, society as a whole is better when people like that don't exist. If people like that would change their mentality to stop being toxic, the world would be a better fucking place. But because these people exist and they focus on the toxicity and the nastiness and they literally just try to turn every possible thing happening around them into a negative, that's why we have terrible things happening on the internet, why we have the things that have the bullying, the crap, because these people are fucked up in the head and it needs to stop. Enough with people putting up with it. It's time to speak up against it. Stop it. Stop allowing people around you to be toxic like that and not speaking out against it. If there's someone who literally all they do is turn everything on the internet into a negative, that person is toxic and it needs to stop. Call them out. Be brave. I know it's going to open a can of worms, but be brave against these people and say, stop with this fucking bullshit. Stop saying everything is something it's not. It's bad. You're fabricating shit. Fucking grow up. Stop. Don't allow these people to ruin life for everyone on the internet because they're so toxic. Really. Oh, I heard you say it. I didn't say it. I listened to the clip myself. You are a liar. Fuck you. Really. If you think I said it, you need to see a doctor. It didn't happen. So you're dumb. You're crazy. Go see a doctor. And leave the rest of us alone. To have a nice fucking positive life in society, since all you hear is negative shit. Go fuck off. Okay. All right, guys. Let us now start. Let us now start with Vice City, which we've been waiting for. I know, fervently. People want Vice City, and you're going to get Vice City. I really wish I could move around my chat better, but this is one of the shortcomings of YouTube chat. It just sucks. It really does. Okay. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching the PreStream podcast. I hope you enjoyed. This was episode 7, right? I think I said that at the beginning of the show, too, and I still didn't know. I still don't know. It's episode 7. I hope it is, or else I've said it a lot and I was wrong. Thanks for watching.